got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
A year ago, Australia fell in love with a very special lady, Carnival Spirit, the first Carnival ship to call Australian waters home. But we're a big country and there's always room for one more. So prepare yourself to fall in love all over again with the newest resident of the Australian seas. She's everything you could want, and like Carnival Spirit, she's ready to capture Australian hearts. In 2014, we welcome Carnival Legend. Right now, she's undergoing exciting upgrades so that Carnival Legend is the perfect ship for Australian cruisers. And what could be more perfect than these? The Red Frog Pub. In a Southern Hemisphere first, we're putting a pub at sea. Grab a beer, enjoy live music, play foosball. You'll find the Red Frog Pub on the corner of Vanuatu, Fiji, or wherever Legend takes you. Bonsai Sushi, where you'll find mouth-wateringly fresh sushi in our dedicated sushi restaurant. Cherry on Top, the sweetest place at sea. Dive into the pool, then dive into a pack of pick and mix. This is Sweet Tooth Heaven. And it's back. The fastest, most thrilling ride at sea, Green Thunder. But this is just the beginning, because Carnival Legend will also have everything we love about Carnival Spirit. The food, the entertainment, 16 bars and lounges, the luxury of fine dining in Nouveau Restaurant, Aussie coffee, the best in local produce, beer and wine, and of course, the escape from it all, adults only Serenity Retreat. Now it's up to you to welcome her by designing the holiday you want on this very special lady, where you can do as much or as little as you like. Carnival Legend. Australia, get ready to fall in love all over again.
Are you ready for this? And this? And what about this? Get set, these and more coming soon to the Carnival Legend. Dry Dock starts now. To prepare for her upcoming itineraries leaving out of Sydney, this ship is receiving her fun-approved Aussification. On top of refreshing the flooring, fixtures, and everything in between, the Carnival Legend is undergoing a ship-wide reboot with some Aussie flair. She'll get brand new spaces like Bonsai Sushi, Cherry on Top, and the Red Frog Pub, along with fun ship favorites like Hasbro the Game Show and Playlist Productions. And what else? Carnival's heart-pounding, nerve-shattering, fastest slide in the fleet, Green Thunder.
Hi, I'm Boris. I'm a senior manager of hotel refurbishment, and welcome to Carnival Legend. Behind me you can see a place that's going to become Bonsai Sushi soon. We've just about to finish the Red Frog Pub. We've added Cherry on Top for our young guests and the sweet lovers. We've put a Green Thunder and a great surprise on the open decks, a whole new water park, and many other things.
Now the blocks are set, the ship is in place, and the water's drained. It's time to rebuild and recharge. At the helm of her refurbishment are 2,000 contractors and crew members who will revamp the Carnival Legend in about 2 weeks. For Green Thunder alone, over 70 contractors worked 5 weeks to manufacture the Giant. That's including removing the existing structures, transporting materials to the open decks, and welding together the slide and platform. Spanning 187 feet, the weight of Green Thunder is 18 tons. To give you an idea of how heavy that is, it's the same weight as about 200 kangaroos.
So the ship has gone through some back of the scene and obviously front of the scene changes just to meet the Australian market. From our experience from Carnival Spirit, we know Aussies like sushi, so we put a sushi bar. We know you like draft beer, so we put a pub. We know Aussies are adventurous, so we put the fastest slide in our fleet. For all of you coffee lovers, and there is many of you, we've changed all the coffee machine and just put the best coffee we have. All of that was driven by Australian market and the great experiences that we have from Carnival Spirit.
Almost 700,000 total man-hours have gone into the project.
Well, I think the most amazing thing is how the contractors and the companies that might have never met straight on the beginning start pulling resources together and helping each other, and they're all working with the same goal. It's just to complete the work and make the ship even better and for our guests on the next cruise.
In just a few days, the Carnival Legend will be receiving her finishing touches as she gets ready to head back out to open water. Are you curious to see how her Ozification turned out? Well, make sure to follow us online as we give you a first look. Click here for more on the Carnival Legend and tell us what you think below about the ship's upgrades. It took 14 days at dry dock and 2,000 workers to get the job done, but the big preparation for Carnival Legend's Oz arrival is now complete. Just look at her. She's officially Ozified.
It's virtually a brand new ship. I think the Carnival Legend is going to be a massive hit down in the Australian market.
What makes this renovation different from all other renovations? Well, this one's got the Aussie touch, with all the familiar Carnival spaces that guests know and love, but with a few extra twists. Green Thunder, Bonsai Sushi, Cherry on Top, and the Red Frog Pub.
It's got bar tables, it's got games, and the sound system in there is spectacular. But not only that, it's a real pub, so you've got draft beer.
This unique space is designed with Australians in mind. Draft beer, live music, a laid-back vibe.
Oh, Red Frog's fantastic. Like the beer here, great entertainment.
Carnival proudly presents Bonsai Sushi, a sushi bar at sea serving up sashimi, sake, and of course, smiles.
Bonsai Sushi was very good. They had a lot of options. The fish seemed very fresh.
For an after dinner, after breakfast, well, after any time treat, stop by Cherry on Top. These walls are stocked with practically every kind of candy you can imagine. On this ship, check out Green Thunder. Carnival's signature slide is the steepest and fastest in the fleet.
It's got the adrenaline, it's got the rush. This is the perfect water slide for Australia.
On top of these brand new spaces, the Carnival Legend is showcasing some brand new performances, like Hasbro the Game Show and Playlist Productions.
Fast slides, exciting shows, live music, lovely tasting coffee, and what is really excellent is that we've added 25 interconnecting cabins, so if you're a big family, if you're a big group, you can join in with each other.
And there you have it, the Carnival Legend is ready to head to her new home in Oz and show off her fresh new look. Want to see more about Carnival Legend? Click here and tell us what you think about the new spaces. Hit it! Na 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 na.
Here come the hot stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area. Still love it like that. No, we don't die. Yes, we multiply. Anyone press will hear the fat lady sing. Act like you know Rico. I know what Bo don't know. Touch them up and go. Oh, cha-cha-ching. Here come the hot stepper.
Welcome aboard. My name is Joe Farkas, and I'm the architect of this ship. And I'd like to tell you a story. This ship, the design of this ship, as well as all the ships that I have done for Carnival Cruise Lines, has a story. And that story begins with an idea. It's what I'd call a central idea. And that idea is a Some people like to call it a theme. I don't. It is a point where I begin all the designs. It's an intellectual idea for me to build artistic creations around that all of the public rooms on board of the ship follow, so that to me there is a coherence in the design that varies in how that's interpreted from room to room. The process begins by making the drawings that flesh out the central idea. These are all architectural drawings done to scale that show the floor plans, the ceiling plans, the main elevations and details, some of which we do on computer, but again, the initial drawings are all done by hand. Basically, everything that you see on this ship today is laid out by us and specified by us so that every note is carried out in some particular material or detail around the ship. We then turn all this documentation over to the shipyard, who in turn turns it over to the subcontractors who make each individual public room. And during this whole course of roughly about 2 years, we are in constant touch with the shipyard, going to the subcontractor, seeing mock-ups, watching it under construction. So it is a total hands-on job until the ship is finished and we're all sitting on board like we are now. Carnival Legend is one of the ships that the name of the ship was created before I did the design. And since I had the name Legend, I thought, why not use legends as the central idea? So you'll see represented aboard the Legend many different legends. The legend could be a story, it could be a person, it could be a legendary place. It's always interpreted in very different ways. The legend in the atrium is the Colossus at Rhodes, one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. And we had a special mural created, hand-painted mural, that spans all the decks of the atrium that shows the Colossus spanning the port of Rhodes. The decor throughout the lobbies and atrium really follows a neoclassical design. So you have these urns that are typical of neoclassical architecture with fruit basket on top that's used throughout. Then we have this arrangement of sofas made with framed artwork in between, and the artwork is from the pre-Raphaelite era. And the pre-Raphaelites painted wonderful scenes of legendary characters, which you'll see scattered throughout all the lobbies. The main theater on the Legend is called Follies, and the Legend are the legendary shows and movies of the Ziegfeld Follies from the 20s. So I chose to follow that basic idea in the design of this room, making it look like a theater from the 20s, which is like sitting in the courtyard of an Italian villa, if you will. Our secondary showroom is the Firebird Lounge, and the legend is the Firebird, which is a Russian legend of this mythical bird that came back to life and represented power within Russia. And the legends in Russian artwork are represented by the famous lacquer boxes that they make in Russia. So I had the walls made to create giant lacquer boxes, and we actually got artists from Russia to paint the fairy tales and legends that each scene depicts throughout the room. The restaurant aboard the Legend, I looked at a legendary food, legendary and very expensive because it's somewhat rare, and that is truffles. So the name of the restaurant is Truffles. I thought that the decor could reflect some legendary china patterns. So the main feature of the room are murals on the ceilings, which recreates probably the most expensive china pattern made, Flora Danica. Really look at the details because they've been reproduced in gold paint, and the floral designs are very realistically done. Throughout the room also we have vitrines which have famous china patterns, actual samples of the china in various parts of the room, mainly featuring the Flora Danica pattern right at the entrances. The chandeliers are very, very interesting. They look like they're made out of Murano glass, twisted like some fantastic animal's horns, and creating this wild, almost explosion of glass pieces. When you're in the Unicorn restaurant, you can take this fabulous glass, death-defying stair that soars through the atrium up to the Golden Fleece Supper Club. The name Golden Fleece comes from a Greek legend having to do with the quest of the Golden Fleece by Jason and the Argonauts. And that is reflected in a huge mural that forms the back wall of the funnel. And it represents the legend of the sirens, which is these female sea creatures who had a beautiful song. And they would sing to sailors who were sailing through these very dangerous waters, and they would sort of lose their minds and crash their ship onto the shoals and sink. And associated with that tale is the Medusa and their medallions of the Medusa design, and these embellishments that enhance the story of the Golden Fleece. The casual Lido restaurant aboard this ship is the Unicorn Cafe, and I went back to medieval British history to find the legend of the unicorn, and it was very much a symbol of romanticism of that period. And the unicorn is often depicted in medieval tapestries, so you'll see reproduced on the ceiling and throughout the room tapestries, and they're not woven tapestries, but the computer techniques that we have today allowed us to recreate them. And throughout the room are also some medieval details that represent the Gothic period. For the casino, I turned to King Arthur and the Round Table, and the character I chose is Merlin the Magician. So the casino is called Club Merlin. And the interior is done like King Arthur's castle, with massive columns and lion heads and murals on the ceiling that representing the magical time of Merlin. The legendary sports dream team is represented in our sports bar. And we have expressed this with photographs of some of the greatest athletes of all time. Surrounding the photographs are geometrically shaped wood forms that create a contemporary interior that is embellished by tables that look like bunting from athletic events and carpeting that is done in designs that you would see coming from various balls that are used in sporting events. For the dance club on this ship, I went back to Greek mythology. And chose one of the scariest legends of all times, the Medusa. The Medusa was the Gorgon, which is a sort of a witch that was a beautiful woman, but instead of having regular hair, her hair was made of snakes. And if a human being looked her in the eye, you turned to stone. So throughout the room, you'll see these great representations of Medusa done in fluorescent paints and fiber optics and lighting that create her wonderful hair with the snake heads on them. The legendary singer Billie Holiday is the namesake for Billie's Piano Bar, and of course she is a legend to this day. And I chose the style of a sort of streamlined deco design, which was interpreted by the use of a lot of corrugated polished stainless steel, red lacquered panels, and very clean wooden details. Another legendary person was used for the jazz club, and that is Louis Armstrong, and everyone knows his nickname was Satchmo. So it's Satchmo's club, and Satchmo grew up and gained his fame in New Orleans, and I thought it would be really interesting to create an old, run-down bar that you might see on one of the back streets of the French Quarter. So you see the shutters, sort of neoclassical columns, stucco falling off the wall and showing the bricks behind it, and open-work steel beams holding up the ceiling. What we have on board, it's an experience. It's something meant for you to have fun and enjoy and relax and all of those things that you've come on board the ship for. And we spare really no expense in making that happen. Almost nothing that you see on board is off-the-shelf material, so to speak. Everything follows the specifications that I mentioned, but they're all custom-made pieces. It's not a museum, but in a way it's like going to a museum because there is so much to see. And it will really enhance your cruise, I think, by making this a discovery process. My hope is that the environment itself will engender this type of exploration and discovery process. Further, I hope by the end of the cruise, you haven't really seen everything yet, and you'll want to come back again.
Let's get an update on the cruise ship Carnival Legend as it glides into Sydney Harbour this morning. The vessel has just finished a multi-million-dollar upgrade.
Australia's biggest cruise season has officially kicked off this morning with Sydney welcoming the superliner Carnival Legend on her maiden voyage here.
Well, our biggest ever cruising season has kicked off in spectacular style as the Carnival Legend sailed into Sydney Harbour.
Well, the giant cruise ship Carnival Legend has been given a spectacular traditional welcome to Sydney as it glided past the Opera House and into Circular Quay.
Sydney Harbour welcomes superliner Carnival Legend this morning on her maiden visit to Australia.
Sydney's record-breaking cruise ship season is underway with the Carnival Legend superliner, the first of 35 ships expected in port this summer.
Carnival Legend's maiden arrival was like an opening ceremony.
Boasting 12 decks and a water slide, the 88,000-tonne Carnival Legend is now docked at Circular Quay.
An all-Australian welcome for the American ship Carnival Legend with its 9-deck atrium, 4 pools, multi-storey dining room and 1,400-seat showroom.
Carnival Legend, it boasts 12 decks, 16 bars and lounges, and for the kids, even a water slide.
Welcome back. It has everything you could possibly want in one place. Pools, restaurants, entertainment, and a different location every day. It is the start of cruising season and the ships are bigger and better than ever.
Oh, what an entrance. The biggest choir ever at sea. 3,000 people, passengers, crew and the Australian Girls Choir. An all-Australian welcome for the American ship Carnival Legend with its 9-deck atrium, 4 pools, multi-storey dining room and 1,400-seat showroom, but to name a few. A record 36 cruise ships will visit Australian ports over the coming months. So many, some will be coming out of regional cities like Geelong, Newcastle, Townsville and Albany. The season kicking off with today's maiden voyage for a ship that's Aussified the PowerPoints, beer, coffee and seafood. And we were invited on board for a couple of nights to witness her arrival into Australia with its alleged fun ride over the side of the ship.
Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm going to leave this to a professional like a getaway reporter.
I sent in the cameraman. A wise decision. Now, holiday cruising here is growing at a phenomenal 20% a year.
More Australians took a cruise than the US.
Making cruising our most popular holiday because it suits our champagne tastes but lemonade pocket. For example, an upcoming 10-night Pacific cruise on Legend starts at $749, just $74.90 a day. And for that, you get accommodation, live entertainment, and all you can eat.
How could you possibly be bored? It's 3 footy fields long, it's 12 decks high, it's packed with things to see, do, taste and try. You've got 45 different activities a day.
Jennifer Vandercreet is the singing vice president of Carnival Australia. Who is perhaps outdone for cruises by Norman from Melbourne.
In total, over 130 cruises.
And Marek from Brisbane, who's only been on 30, but
never been in a pool on all the ships I've been on.
Have you caught up with your husbands yet?
And these ladies from Sydney.
It literally is a woman's holiday. We bring the blokes along because they pay the bills. But in all honesty, you get out of bed of a morning, they make your bed for you, they change your towels, you come up, you have breakfast, they feed you. I don't have to say, what are we having for tea tonight?
But mainly Americans came out with the ship from the US.
A billabong. It's a water source.
And they spent the weekend preparing to sing our Waltzing Matilda for a grand entrance with its jumbuck and a billy.
He's not a goat. He's not boiling a goat.
Does it make a lot of sense?
No, it doesn't.
So how did they go on the big day? Not bad.
Well, that's an entrance. For more information on cruising, just sail along to our website.
We're going to do a full walkthrough ship tour on the Carnival Legend. Hi, my name is Jason Newquist with CruisesIt.com. The Carnival Legend is a wonderful little ship, and my family and I, we had a great time. If you have any questions about booking a cruise on the Carnival Legend or any other cruise ship, please give us a call. Our number is down below, or you can check us out at CruisesIt.com.
We're going to start the tour off here at the Avalon main pool. One thing I'd like you to know about the Carnival Legend is that the other ships that are in this class, it's the same exact design and setup. So in this setup we have the Carnival Spirit, the Carnival Pride, and the Carnival Miracle. All these are pretty much the same. Here in the main pool we had they had all the shows and the bands playing and the ice carving. They had a lot of action going on here at the main pool. One thing I really liked about this ship is that it has 3 pools. So there was always a place for someone to, there was always room for someone to sit by the pool, and they have an adult pool. So, you know, having kids, when the adults want to go and be by themselves, they were able to do that. So my kids could kind of jump around and have a good time between the 2 pools. Which was really convenient for my kids because they're 10 and 6, and they were able to go back and forth to the 2 pools toward the front of the ship and play as much as they wanted, while the adults who kind of wanted to be away from kids were in the back in the Serenity area. So it was really convenient. All 3 pools also have spas, jacuzzis. Up here on the sports deck we have the basketball court, we have a little bit of putt-putt. And if we look right through that window right there, you can see we're right above the gym. And the gym has a spa. One thing that's really good about this gym is it has a steam room and a sauna. So if you have a little bit too much to drink, get yourself a big bottle of water and just go sit in the steam room. So right here we're overlooking the Camelot pool. This is the pool toward the front. Right on the other side is the Avalon pool. And we're just going to take a quick tour around the front of the ship. And right on the other side of these windows is the gym. So you can walk on the Stairmaster or one of the walking machines and overlook the front of the ship and look out onto the ocean. And here we're at the Camelot pool again. This is the pool toward the front of the ship, and we're going to make our way to the back of the ship now. This was a great cruise because I love the itinerary. We went on this cruise for the itinerary itself. I wasn't really worried about the ship. I did like the ship. I enjoyed the ship. But I didn't go on this for the ship. I went for the itinerary. We went to the Cayman Islands, we went to Roatan, Honduras, we went to Belize, and we went to Cozumel. It was an enjoyable trip.
Now, if you have any questions about booking or pricing or trying to plan any one of these cruises, please give us a call. That's what we do. We love our job. We're experts at it. It only takes a few minutes. We have access to all the inventory, all the prices, and what's even better, all the discounts. All the cruise lines now recommend travel agents to book your cruises because we know exactly how to find the specials, how to get into the right cabins, and which cruise line is going to be best based on your needs.
The Serenity area, this is the adult-only area. This is a great area for adults. Because what I liked about it is the size. It's huge. It's a big area. Nice sized pool. Great places to lay down. They had a lot of really nice chairs. Cabanas. A bar. It's a place, I saw, couples just, 4 or 5 couples together just hanging out, drinking beer, just having a great time, just talking about whatever. We're going to go in here in the Unicorn Cafe. This is this is the buffet area. They have all kinds of different types of food. They have a sandwich area that they make all different types of fresh sandwiches, dessert area, an Asian area with Chinese food, Italian area. They have a pizza place where you can just go up and order a pizza anytime you want. It's great. They have coffee in the morning and juice with chocolate and white milk, and then in the afternoon, complimentary, they just have juice and water. I believe it was lemonade. Yeah, lemonade. And in the morning, they have a huge breakfast buffet here. As what my wife and I did was when we would get back from port, our kids were so hungry and ready to just eat and go play in the pool that they would eat dinner before us, and then we would go take them back to the cabin, take a shower, and then they would go to Camp Carnival. And while they were at Camp Carnival, my wife and I would go out to dinner by ourselves. It was great. And that's a strong recommendation that if you bring your kids on one of these cruises, the first thing that you wanted to do is get them in Camp Carnival. Because not only are they going to have a lot of fun, but they're going to meet friends. And they'll meet friends the first day they go to Camp Carnival. And then so for the next 7 days that you're on the cruise, they're going to be seeing them everywhere. You might be on the same excursions, you might be on the same beach. And then when they go to camp, they'll want to go to camp every day because the camp is fun. But my wife and I did that almost every night. Is we would take our kids and they would eat in the buffet, which they wanted to because they could eat whatever they wanted. And like I said, take them to the cabin, take a shower, take them to Camp Carnival, and then my wife and I would go back to the cabin and we would take our shower, go to dinner together, just relax, and go pick them up at camp at around 10 o'clock. It was it was a great way for us to get some quality time together, that we're not really used to getting. So we're going to head down to the promenade deck. And as soon as you go down the center elevators here, you're right in the atrium. There's a lady singing there. They had some really good singers that sing in the atrium. So we're going to be heading down the second floor, the promenade deck. We're at the back of the ship, and we're going to make our way to the front of the ship. Our first stop here is Medusa's Lair, which is a dance club. Here is the Atlantis Lounge. Nice place to kick back and grab a drink. They had live music here every night. And we're going to go right through the atrium here. On the promenade deck, walking toward the front of the ship. It's also the second floor. And we have the bonsai sushi right here, which they have a little dance for you at night. They had my wife grab the flags and do a little sushi dance. And so we're going to go through the casino. Be careful in the casino. Some people stay there way too late. Heard of one guy leaving at 5 o'clock in the morning. And over here to the left is the Red Frog Pub. And it's a lot different than the Carnival Liberty or there's some other Carnival ships where they have the Red Frog Pub right across from the tequila bar, and they're a lot smaller. This one's a pretty good size one, pretty good sized Red Frog. And then over here we have the Dream Team Sports Bar, so you could go in here and watch any sports game that was going on, so nobody had to miss anything while they were at sea. So we're going to go down here to the Comedy Club. So we're actually coming down to the first floor. The Headliners Comedy Club is head up by George Lopez. So they're bringing new comedians in all the time. The ones that we watched that were really funny, they actually flew into the Caymans and boarded the ship while it was at port. And here's the Follies Main Lounge, where they have all the theatrical shows, magician shows. They also have game shows here at the theater. Even though it's a small ship, they had a lot of things going on. They had everything that they needed on the ship. And here we're kind of going through like a little secret passage here that a lot of people didn't know this way. This is where we waited in the morning to get off the ship because there was nobody here. And here we have the Circle C for teens. And a game room. And here we have the library. It's a neat little bar, the Odyssey Lounge. And here we have all the fun shops. We're making our way back to the atrium.